Welcome, listeners and viewers, to the very first official Anipop podcast episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, you gotta be pumped, Ducky.
Woo! 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 USA! USA!
Wow. This marks the birth of a new podcast series where we will be covering everything from anime all the way to video games and maybe some other stuff too, like drama, I guess. I don't know.
Drama alert.
Yeah, we're just gonna be the new drama alert, basically. Well, I'm your host, Jaden Day Zero, and with me is your co-host, the Lucky Duelist. And before we begin, let us formally introduce ourselves. Would you like to do the honors, Ducky?
Yeah, hi, I'm Ducky, also the Lucky Duelist. Some of you guys probably know me from J Streams, because I'm a mod, and sometimes I'm on the stream as if it's a sort of community stream, I guess we'll call them, when there's like a group of us. It's great to be here. Jay and I have been talking about doing something like this for a while, so it's good to be finally doing it.
What's your niche, or what kind of things do you like?
So I'm a huge nerd, as you guys probably know.
I'm sure we all are.
So anything like fiction or music related is my thing. I used to have a channel, but then I deleted all my videos. I'm considering sort of starting making videos again, but I'm not sure. Other than that, I'm a really bad comedian. No, seriously, I'm a bad stand-up comedian.
I'm sure you're fine, but I am Jaden Day Zero. A lot of you might know me as Jaden Day Zero. That one yandere guy who not even yandere guy. What am I saying? I mean, that one guy who makes yandere content on YouTube. Some very cringy and well-known content for sure. Yeah, I started doing like English covers of anime stuff, mostly Yu-Gi-Oh stuff, because nobody's been doing it, and I kind of wanted a Yu-Gi-Oh English Japanese version, so I just started doing that like a long time ago. But yeah, I'm pretty excited for this podcast, like Ducky said.
Yeah,
We've been planning this for a while now. I don't know, how long has it been since we actually thought about this? Yeah, yeah.
I think it was last decade when we started talking about it. Like it was 2019.
Oh yeah, yeah. That might as well be the last day. Well, is it the last decade?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
Yeah, because it's 2020 now.
Oh yeah. Well, I thought
It's not a very good
2021
start
would
to
be
the
the
decade.
next decade.
I don't know, because like I don't know. Whatever.
Okay, we'll just leave it at that, I guess. But yeah, I guess the first topic I wanted to talk about is Studio Ghibli's new film called Earring and the Witch. Apparently, the film is about a little orphan girl who doesn't mind living in the orphanage since she gets whatever she wants. So she's pretty much spoiled, and then suddenly two witches disguised as foster parents came and whisked her away to their house of magic, and now the little girl's being a brat by doing something like, I'm going to show them who's boss around here. But apparently it's Miyazaki's first ever 3D CG animated movie. So that's something new, because usually Miyazaki and the Ghibli studio is pretty much known for doing like 2D animation, like the beautifully hand-drawn 2D animation. And suddenly out of nowhere, they're doing 3D CG. I don't know if you've seen the trailer, Ducky. Have you?
I have not.
Have you seen?
Is there a trailer?
Yeah, yeah. You probably might have to look it up, but
I'll look it up on Google Images, just see what pictures come up.
yeah, the pictures will pretty much tell you everything. I don't know. Personally, I think the art style is, I don't know. They could do better for sure. Like I like how if you've seen Spider-Verse or Into the Spider-Verse movie by Sony that they made recently, that actually was beautifully 3D CG animated, but just Ghibli, as being Ghibli's first film, you would think it'd be something like that, like very artistic in a way, or they would keep their roots some way or another, but they went completely CG with this one.
Oh, that's an interesting animation style.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Like, what do you think of the art style?
It looks kind of like it's semi like stop motion,
Mm-hmm.
sort of like Coraline, I guess.
Yeah, you
I don't
would
know.
think that, but it's actually just full on CG.
I guess it, it has potential. I'm not going to judge it before I see it or anything, but hopefully it's good.
I mean, it's Miyazaki, so I wouldn't be surprised if it the story wise it would be good, but
I
I don't
just want
know.
to clarify. I've seen in my entire life so far. I've seen about half of a Ghibli film
Oh, really?
because this is a really weird story. Where like I was a kid, my sister loved and still does love Spirited Away,
Hmm.
and I used to be really scared of it. I don't know why. I was just really scared of like the pigs and the old woman and stuff. So I like whenever she was watching it, I would leave the room.
Wow.
And then I saw like 10 minutes of When Marnie was there because that came out on DVD, and I was like, sure, I'll
Hmm.
check it out. But I got bored after 10 minutes. That was when I was like, I can't remember how old I was. But now Netflix has a load of them. I'm planning on watching them all Sunday.
Oh, nice. Yeah, they're pretty
But
good movies.
I've heard they're really good, which is why I want to watch them.
Yeah, like
Um,
once you actually watch them and look at the current movie that they're about to release, I'm sure your opinion might change a little bit
yeah.
because
Um,
oh, go ahead.
yeah. I think like don't all the movies have like some kind of lesson for people? Like Spirited Away, I'm pretty sure is just like respect your parents. Don't wish you had different ones, otherwise your parents will turn into pigs.
Uh,
Like
I don't know.
I
It's
don't know. I haven't seen the movie.
well, for me, it's been a while. So I mean, I've seen the movie like two times already, but I don't know. I didn't really get that message for
It's
when
the
watching
only
it.
anime my sister likes, so I've
Hmm.
seen it. I've seen like the same one clip of them running down a corridor about 4 times, I think.
Hmm.
But I've never seen the actual movie, which kind of makes me sad because it's apparently amazing. um, but like, I think for this 3D CG movie, it depends on like I've obviously just seen pictures, but if it's animated anything like I think when it's moving, it'll be. I think it can be a good movie.
Hmm. Do you think the animation is gonna affect how people perceive this movie?
I think so, yeah, because as you said with Spider Verse, like that wasn't exactly like traditional CG animation,
Hmm.
but it was still amazing. And I think part of why it was amazing is because of the way it was animated.
Right.
And since Ghibli's known so much for 2D animation, the fact that they're doing it in 3D might make the movie better or worse.
Hmm. If you compare it to the old style of animation, in your opinion, which one would you prefer?
Oh, I prefer 2D.
2D? Yeah, same.
3D animation is just, I don't know, I'm not a fan of it.
Yeah, it's kind of
Like,
iffy, especially when it's like in regular anime shows where they actually
yeah,
toss it around as background assets or something like that. Then it looks okay, I guess, but sometimes it can like really look bad, like horrible, if it's right in
I
your
think it
face.
depends how much they use it. Like, if they
Hmm.
have a 2D show with 3D, like, for example, JoJo, in the openings, they sometimes use 3D.
Hmm.
And then in the rest of the show, there's pretty much none. And I think that's a sort of a good way to handle it, where you have it in small amounts so that it's appreciated more.
Right. I think
But
if
for a whole
oh, go ahead.
for a whole movie, it might be different.
Yeah, for sure. Because like I think if they actually did that, like you said, where they added a little bit of CG instead of making the whole movie CG, I think it'd probably receive more praise for it because
Attention,
yeah,
yeah,
attention for sure because it would keep the traditional animation style and like the 2D animation and everything while adding, you know, 3D CG elements to it. Uh,
yeah,
Going from 2D then suddenly 3D like that, I think that could I don't know, ruin the movie's perception because everybody's just so used to their old art style. Like in my
I
like,
think something might. Oh, sorry. Continue.
no, go
Sorry.
ahead, go
Yeah,
ahead.
I think it might sort of depending on the story of the film as well. Because you said it's about witches, so
Hmm.
if they're using magic, it might be sort of easier portrayed in 3D than in 2D.
Oh yeah, I can see that for sure.
So I think that might be one of the reasons they switched to 3D, and they might just want to experiment with new stuff.
Hmm.
Because obviously they've done like traditional 2D for I don't know when Studio Ghibli started. It was like the 70s, 80s. I don't know.
Probably, yeah.
they've been doing 2D for that long, and 3D's been on the rise for a while now.
Yeah, I
So
think
I
since
think
the
finally,
early 90s.
yeah. So I think experimenting, you can't go wrong, but it depends on how this movie goes.
Hmm.
Like we might see they go right back to 2D if this film flops, but if it does well, it might they might stop doing 2D movies,
Are you gonna
or
give it a
maybe a
shot?
hybrid. I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm gonna go away from this when we're done. Watch every Ghibli movie on Netflix, and then watch this.
That's fair enough.
Because like, when's it come out?
Uh, dang, I didn't look that up, but I think it's supposed
I'll
to
look it
be
up.
at the end of this year, or they
Mm.
actually wanted to release it in theaters next year for North American as a North
Mm.
American release. I think it's licensed by
Um, I
WB or
don't think
Warner
it
Brothers or
has
something. I don't know. Huh?
hidden to North America in 2021, but it's coming out in Japan this year, I think.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll give it a shot, but I don't know. Hopefully it's good.
For me, I don't know if I want to give it. I'm not really a big fan of like 3D CG, especially if I'm so
Yeah.
used to the artistic style of Miyazaki and their 2D animation studio.
Mm.
I don't know. Since so many studios are now doing 3D CG animated stuff, it's like you rarely do you ever find that 2D animation
Yeah.
in the industry now. Like everything is just 3D CG because it's so easy to manage the assets and you can just reuse it for the next movie and it's just cost efficient. But you lose that charm that comes with 2D animation. I don't know. Do you think
I,
they should stick with their roots or something, or just go on and keep on experimenting like that?
I think it's good to experiment, but if they keep doing movies, if this movie does well, for example, if they do more 3D movies, it'd be good. But if they did more 2D, it'd be amazing as well because it's such a like well-known, beloved studio for its 2D movies.
Hmm.
But I think like I've not seen many Japanese like 3D animated movies, but I've noticed like a lot of Japanese 3D animation I've seen is really sort of different to like American or British or I guess just Western anime like 3D animation, like Toy Story for example, looks completely different to this.
Oh yeah, I think it has a lot to do with
But
the art style, like just how they draw
yeah,
their characters in general. Like since
yeah,
anime characters are more like human like form and like have more human characteristics in comparison to American, which is more like circular and like big eyes and all that stuff. It's like it just looks different, maybe. I don't know.
yeah. It's like that episode of The Simpsons where Homer became 3D. Like that looked really weird.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I think yeah, I think it's good for them to experiment with 3D, but it depends on I think the studio's future sort of hanging in the balance of this movie.
What do you think
Like if it does,
if they decided to go completely 3D and just like leave 2D? And what if like the whole industry just started doing 3D now and just stopped doing 2D animation?
the whole industry, what like all of anime.
Not of all of anime, but like in terms of like, well, that would be kind of weird if
Yeah,
you think
weird,
about
wouldn't
it.
it?
But like if like big major studios like Ghibli, like a lot of anime studios that
Yeah.
makes movies like G Kids, and I think G Kids
Mm.
is just a licensor, but just those popular movies, if they completely went 3D just because it's more cost efficient, I don't know. I don't know if I would like that at all because like we already have way too many 3D movies in
Yeah.
America because Disney pretty much just completely dropped 2D
Abandoned 2D.
animation.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is so sad because they're
A
so
lot of
popular.
2D Disney movies were great. Like
Exactly.
they've abandoned it for live action remakes in 3D,
Yeah, and it's
which don't get me wrong, it's not bad, but
hmm
it's not amazing because like, Disney 2D animation is amazing. Like The Sword in the Stone, for example, I love that movie and it's 2D. Like I don't know. I think if Ghibli does go completely 3D, they'll be getting a lot of the older fans will stop caring about it, and a lot of newer fans will start caring about it
hmm
because sort of the older fans have sort of lived with it in 2D, and the newer fans have come in with it as 3D.
hmm
But I don't, what do you think?
Yeah, I can agree with that because a lot of the newer generation that they're like, I think it's your generation that grew up with like
Wow,
a
we're
lot
the
of the.
same generation.
Are we though? I mean, because I was.
Someone once told me a generation's 30 years, and we're 7 years apart, so I guess we are.
Well, it's because like when I grew up, like 2D was like prominent, and actually
Yeah,
watched it on TV while you were growing up. I'm sure a lot of the things was already 3D, so
yeah.
you were more exposed to that kind of cartoons and animation, that kind of
I
stuff.
always thought like the best stuff was 2D. Like Teen Titans, for example, was my favorite show growing up,
Hmm.
and that was 2D. Like I loved that show,
Hmm.
but 3D shows were just sort of strange. Like 2D or live action were like where it's at.
Oh yeah.
I think I think it's easier for TV studios to do stuff in 2D than like a big movie studio,
Hmm.
because you've got like a big movie studio has to make it look amazing, and it's easier to make things look great in 3D because obviously you can make the film 3D, like 3D glasses and stuff. But if you've got a TV, you're not expecting every single episode to be amazing.
Right.
Yeah,
I
I do get what you mean with like generational look, because like 3D sort of around the period like the 90s 2000s, it became more 3D in the cinema and 2D on television,
hmm
and that sort of impacted a lot on the way people view the animation styles. I think this is going to be like a really bad case of you can't teach an old dog new tricks, and the movie's just going to flop.
yeah. I feel
Like
like that's gonna
Ghibli
be the
just,
case too for this movie.
yeah, like they'll either go back, rethink, and do a different style of 3D, or they'll just go back to 2D.
Hmm.
And personally, I would love them to go back to 2D, because with how big of a like studio Ghibli is, if they go to 3D completely, then other studios are going to go over, and eventually we'll be seeing a 3D Your Name remake, and I don't want to see that.
Oh god, kind of like the what was it called? The Pokemon, the first movie
Yeah,
remake.
yeah.
That was
Did you watch
horrible.
that?
Yeah, I did, and it's like I hated that. It's like no
It was
thanks.
fine, but the eyes were just so scary.
Yeah,
But I don't know. I think if 3D becomes sort of the norm for anime movies, it's going to change the way people see it.
did you want to do
Yeah.
Digimon? Because I don't really
I,
know a lot of it because I haven't seen the
okay.
first.
So you've seen the original, right?
Uh, yes, I have seen the complete original Digimon movie
Okay.
or
And
movie and shows. Yeah.
you know the movie like where like Diaborimon's attacking and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they turned that into the intro for the new series, and then after the third episode, it went on hiatus, and I'm
Hmm.
sure it's back now. But like, I get it went on hiatus because of lockdown, but I just think it's weird that they turned a movie into an intro.
Hmm.
That's all I want to say. The remix really badly, not badly, just strangely designed.
That's
Okay,
interesting because if they did that for this remake of Digimon Adventure, then I guess they could technically just combine all the movies into the storyline instead of remaking the movies themselves.
yeah,
Would
I
be
think
kind of good because everything is like consistent and coherent and stuff.
they've changed the story so that they've teased like from the beginning Kari's a Digi-destined.
Hmm.
So I feel like that might like factor into the second season being part of this,
Hmm.
which personally I would love, but I feel like that might be kind of controversial since it's sort of like modern day. They're all young again.
Right. Do they use like modern
But
tech and stuff within the show?
the like little intro before the opening song starts says it's in the year 2020,
Well,
so it's sort of
wait.
they
So
pulled it into the modern day.
all right. So if that's the case, then what about Try? Is Try only canon to the original, or is Try like supposed to be
See,
connected to this?
that's what I don't know, because Try's based in 2005.
Well,
So if they're like
shit, man.
18, they're 18 in 2005, but they're 12 in 2020.
All right. So I'm assuming this is just a different universe of
I
Digimon
think it
then.
is. It's just a reboot. So
Well, that sucks
like,
because I really like
when it was
Try.
originally revealed. When it was me too. I love Try. When it was revealed at the end, like, or not at the end, like they said it was just the entire story rebooted.
Hmm.
So I think it's sort of like both are canon in different timelines,
Hmm.
which I'm fine with because it still can. It was the last evolution, which I haven't seen yet.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think that's all I have to say about the Digimon remake.
Do you think they're going to implement Try into this new remake?
I think it'll take a while, but I think season two, if they do a season two of the remake, they'll cover season two of the original,
Hmm.
and then I feel like Try won't be so big an event that they'll make it season three,
Hmm.
but the story will probably be really different. Because if they're putting it on television for children, they can't have stuff like Try had with like a teacher covered in blood sending Ty back to the real world.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure.
They can't have that on a kids program.
Or they might just like
Censor it
leave
for
it.
making the blood
Well,
pink.
I don't know. I think they could just like cut it off where Try
Yeah.
begins. That way, it's still Try is still canon to as like an after story kind of thing.
Yeah.
But they can just keep the original plot, except it's more consistent since they included the movies and everything together.
Hmm.
So I can see them doing that. I don't know how well
Yeah.
that would work because, like you said,
The-
Try is in 2005. So
yeah. And I'm pretty sure Last Evolution is in like 2010 or something,
hmm.
which means he was like a 22-year-old college student in 2010, but in 2020 he's a 12-year-old.
Wow.
It's age regression. Um, yeah, I think I've only seen the first three episodes for now. It's promising, but the like delivery and the way they're showing the digital world's really strange. Like they've got it so there's like a gap between the human and digital world, where it's just the human world in bright colors,
Hmm.
and then at the end of the third episode, they're like, "Hey, we're in the digital world. It's the real world, but digital."
Hmm.
That's yeah. It's just like the normal digital world. I don't know. Like, have you ever seen any of Digimon Hunters?
No, I have
I think
not.
that's the English name. It's like so it's instead of the digital world, they go to
Hmm.
like another realm of the real world, where it's just the real world, but it's really run down, like post-apocalyptic. And I'm really happy they didn't do that with this because it looked too sort of cartoonish. Like I know it's a cartoon,
Right.
but sort of it looked like they weren't putting any effort into the design.
Hmm.
So I'm happy they're like at least doing stuff for this that shows they still sort of care because like, you get to see a train. I'm pretty sure in the digital world, which is like a callback to the original. So like, I'm happy they've got at least some like connection to the original. But I don't
What
know. It's promising.
What about the art style? If you compare it to like the original, is it any good,
It's
or is it kind of like off or something? Does it seem off?
a good comparison might be like comparing Dragon Ball, like the original to Dragon Ball Super. It's sort of
Hmm.
just like a more refined version.
Hmm.
I think since the characters are like a little bit younger, pardon me, it's more like refined, kind of. Like they look a bit more caricature, kind of.
Hmm.
And I like the art style. It's not too different to the original, which is it's sort of just the original but high definition. Like I always say, Death Note, the anime was ahead of its time because of how HD the animation style is, like how thin the lines are, how much detail there is.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think it that standard, like the Death Note standard, put into more of a like childish style.
Hmm.
That's what I'd say it is. Like it's not ahead of its time, obviously, because it's Digimon. Why would it be?
Right.
It's it's sort of it's a decent art style. Like it's not. I'd say it's average, but it's good. If that makes sense.
Okay, so it's not like one of those things where like Pokemon they drastically change like the eyes or
Oh
like
god,
any of that
yeah.
kind of stuff.
No, it's not like a drastic change like Pokemon Sun and Moon. Like
Mm-hmm.
this art style's it's more childish, but it still looks like the original.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Pokemon's just like, hey, this is a kids show now. I mean, it always was, but they're like, hey, this is for like 4-year-olds.
Right. Kind of like they did with
But
Yu-Gi-Oh.
oh
The new
god, yeah,
Yu-Gi-Oh one.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Sevens.
Yeah.
I haven't even seen it subbed. And the intro has a giant robot made out of dual discs.
Oh yeah. I actually saw the first episode
What
of
did
the
you
show.
think? I saw like
Uh.
5 minutes of it because there was a YouTuber doing
Mm-hmm.
he was doing like a watch along stream.
Mm-hmm.
And 5 minutes into it, the stream chat decided to watch GX instead.
Wow. Yeah, I'm not
So,
surprised.
what did you think?
I don't know, like personally, the new Yu-Gi-Oh! Sevens, it's like I mean, I guess the concept itself is okay. It's cool, I guess, but it's just the fact that the art style is not very appealing. And I know it's a kids show. Yu-Gi-Oh! Has always been a kids show, but like they didn't treat it like a kids show like since the very beginning, except maybe
Yeah.
a little bit on Zexal and Arc 5. They treated it a bit more
Mhm.
of a kids show, but even then,
They still had like really mature themes. Like
yeah, especially the art
Kite died
style.
in space, for
Yeah.
example. In Kite died in space, or Yuya had identity, like an identity crisis.
Mhm.
Like that was all like they had really mature themes. And Seven's just like a big corporation rules the world. An 11-year-old isn't happy about it.
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
I feel like
I
they're
think
doing kind of like have you followed any of the Gundam shows? Like there's this new Gundam show called Build Fighters.
yeah, I've seen Build Fighters.
Yeah, and they're kind of doing that with Yu-Gi-Oh, where it has nothing to
Mm.
do with like the seriousness tone of the original shows, but it's
Hmm.
more towards the marketing and kid friendly side of it, and the animation style is like very more cartoony than it would normally look like.
Yeah, I think Build Fighters is sort of it acknowledges that other Gundam shows are fictional,
Hmm.
and I think that might be what Sevens is like because it's got like Blue Eyes White Dragon, Red Eyes Black Dragon, Dark Magician, like older cards come back as legend monsters,
Hmm.
and that just makes me think of in Zexal when they had the Dual Sanctuary with all the statues of like legendary monsters.
Oh yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like that's sort of like
Hmm.
Build Fighters kind of thing where it's sort of acknowledging that they're fictional. So I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna watch Sevens. I mean, they're remaking all our monsters, so they made like Mystical Elf as a disco girl. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I saw a clip of that part, and I'm like, okay. I'm not a very big fan of that. But
I mean,
I think for a
yeah,
kid show, it's okay. And since they're introducing a new mechanic, which a lot of people are saying is not gonna be transferred over to North America or any
uh,
of the European or any of that kind of stuff, it's just
it's
exclusively for
not
Japan.
even it's not even a new mechanic. It's like an entirely new game.
Yeah,
It's like
you're right.
speed
Yeah,
duels.
yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
um, they did apparently file like a copyright for Rush Duel in America, so I guess it could be coming over, but I don't know. Might
Huh.
just be because the show's getting a dub.
Is it really?
I hope not.
I might actually just watch the first episode of the dub just to see if they do anything with the intro. They might make it like more hip hop or something again.
They get like Eminem to do the Yu-Gi-Oh! 7 theme
Bruh.
tune.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
I
Arc
mean,
5 intro was bad enough. I actually like Vrain's
I love that.
intro. Vrain's
The
was
Rain's intro
actually,
was great because it didn't have lyrics.
yeah.
It was different, and I I feel like they could hype up the first episode of Seven's dub like they did with Rain's. Like they had that whole cinematic event where you go see the movie, you get to see the first episode of Rain's.
Hmm.
They could do that with Sevens, but nowhere near as many people would go to see it.
Oh yeah, like when I went to the theaters to watch that just to get an exclusive look, like literally it was just me and some other guy, and that's it in the whole theater.
I went and it was full.
Really?
Yeah, like I booked online the night before, drove an hour with my dad. He dropped me off because I can't drive still.
Hmm.
I was like 16 at the time, I think. So yeah, I got there. Went and saw the thing. They played the episode before the movie. and everyone like had mixed reactions. Like I was happy because it was. I think Vrains is a good dub, other than the fact that Revolver's name is Varys, and
Mm-hmm.
Playmaker sounds like he has a lisp sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I think Vrains is a great dub. I've been following it along, and my only fault with it is the name changes.
Well,
Like,
the
so,
name. Well, I don't know. The
they,
name
cha-
changes aren't as bad as you would think. I actually,
they named
they're
Go
acceptable.
the Go. Go Onizuka, the wrestler, has been changed to the Go. Like
Yeah.
Gore. That's my only problem. And Takaru becoming Theodore. But other than that, I like it.
At least we don't get
Um,
that that what German kid from Arc 5 with that horrible German
even
dub accent.
even when the show was Japanese, we could tell he was going to be German.
Yeah. That was so bad. Like, oh my god, I hated that kid so much. He was just
I
so
love the
annoying.
kid. Didn't he win a tournament?
Yeah, I think he did. Which is dumb because I think he played like monsters that are like drawings or something of
Yeah,
dinosaurs and
there was
stuff.
like a big drawing of a T-Rex. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
There was a guy on Facebook
mhm.
like trying a petition for them to print that as a real archetype.
I think that would be pretty fun. Actually, I wouldn't mind playing as that just to troll
Of
around.
course you wouldn't. Of course not.
I love decks like
I
that.
mean, Vrains has an archetype where it's just like household appliances turned into monsters, like laundry dragon.
Oh yeah, appliancers. I think
Yeah,
that's the archetype called.
yeah. Have you seen how ridiculous it is?
Yeah, I saw the. I actually was starting to build up one, a deck of
Mm.
appliancers, but I still need to read their effects just to get the gist of how the mechanics work for the
They're all
deck.
like link ones. There's one link two, and they all co-link and do stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it's only good if you run machine duplication, which not sure about America. Over here, it's like £10 for one, and that yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it's like almost the same price as over there. It's a good
Mm.
thing that I picked those up like way long time ago when I was running Despots.
Damn desk bots. I'm pretty sure they're like meta now.
Oh, really?
Because have you seen Crystal Needle Fiber?
Yes, I
It's
have.
yeah. So that with Adamancipator, which is another annoying deck,
Hmm.
runs desk bots and does really degenerate stuff.
Oof, I
So
can see that. Yeah, that
yeah,
sounds pretty gross.
I'm not happy with the meta now. Like I'm happy that my hero deck can play through like 4 negates and then I can win against the meta. But other than that, I'm annoyed.
That is so. I hate the whole negate game going on and you
Yeah,
and the TCG and OCG and stuff like that, as well as like the whole hand trap thing. Like that's just
yeah.
so BS. But it's whatever, I guess.
That's why I like the card Call by the Grave because if they hand trap you, it doesn't matter because they can't use it.
Right.
You just banish the hand trap and they don't get it.
But even then, there's only like one
Yeah,
copy of that type of card, and you have like six
yeah,
different hand traps, and they can run like 20 of them if they wanted
yeah.
to.
It's. Have you ever been Nibiru'd?
Oh God, I
You're
hate that. I hate that card
Nibiru the Primal
so
Being.
much. That card should be banned. Like, why the hell did they Konami made that? That's such a stupid card.
There's an Xyz monster that can search it.
Oh my God, I am not surprised. They just destroy the game with that card because I tried to run Raid Raptor and somebody did that to me, and I'm like, yeah, I quit. I'm not gonna play this game anymore for another month.
Is that not just your attitude whenever you lose a duel?
Not well. If the person I'm dueling it doesn't count on hand traps too heavily,
Yeah,
then it doesn't matter if they like ghost my monsters or anything because like okay yeah that's reasonable. But if they play nothing but hand traps and all that scummy stuff, then I'm like yeah I don't want to play with you.
it's like the meme from Toy Story. I don't want to play with you anymore.
Exact, pretty much yeah. That's me to Yu-Gi-Oh at this point. But
Yeah.
anyway, yeah, that's what do you think of the new remakes that the anime industry are doing? Like I know they did a Fruits Baskets remake, and I don't know if
Uh,
I think I heard that they're gonna do a Death Note remake or
oh
something.
my! I know they've done like a new Death Note one shot, but
Hmm.
I didn't know about the remake. So I think it's a good idea that they're remaking stuff because obviously ideas are not a bottomless pit. You're eventually people are going to run out of ideas, and if you remake with more modern like animation, voice actors, if you remake with that like older shows, it might make the shows better and sort of attract a new fan base to the show.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know he's overused, but I kind of want to hear Yuki Kaji voice Light.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he would be good at that. I don't know. But sort of there's a lot of newer voice actors now, and I feel like a lot of them and the voices of all their characters would be good. But
But you would think that a lot of people would be mad because they're like, oh, I want the original voice actor. This isn't my voice actor. Kind of like the whole Final Fantasy VII remake where they replaced the whole cast. And Sephiroth sounds pretty weird because I'm so used to the original.
I mean, personally, I think I should have voiced Sephiroth, but
Mm-hmm.
I think like the whole argument of like, oh, it's not the original voice actor is really annoying because people get older.
Mm-hmm.
Like the new Scooby Doo movie, for example. The guy who voiced Fred originally is voicing Scooby in the movie, I'm pretty sure.
Really?
Because he's a lot older and his voice has changed.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But like the rest of everyone in the film is completely different. They've never done a Scooby Doo role before.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm pretty sure Zac Efron's in that film.
Oh, of course he is.
You've got to work his way in somewhere.
Yeah, that's true.
But I think remaking stuff can be good and bad. Sort of like, yeah. As you said, Final Fantasy VII Remake, it was good, but they replaced the cast, which annoyed people.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if Fruits Basket, for example, I never knew that to be like a really popular show, but since it got remade, it's had more popularity.
Oh yeah, like I don't know if you saw it, but when I saw the first season of the remake, I actually liked it way more, especially the art style and how everything's updated and stuff. It actually made the show even better for me because especially since they added a second season, which everybody's been asking since the original. So that's pretty good. Like if they remake shows with a second season or more context of some sort, then I'm all for it. So I don't know, but it's kind of
remakes are like.
Go ahead.
Remakes are weird because like they announce a remake and it gets more attention for the original and it gets hype built up so people are excited when the remake comes out.
Mm-hmm.
So like when Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains ended, they had this big thing to show like 2020 and it was in gold letters and a lot of people thought they were going to reboot Duel Monsters.
Mm-hmm.
That would be way better than Sevens.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I was hoping that they would remake the original with Sevens because that would be great because then you have the older
alongside
audience.
each other.
Yeah.
Because they did change animation studios for Sevens. Like the animation studio that's done every Yu-Gi-Oh show up to Sevens, well up to Vrains, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
They've changed, so I think they might go back to the old studio and be like, "Hey, can you remake like Duel Monsters or something?" But like. Even outside of animation quality, I want to see like a version of Duel Monsters with like Xyz summoning. Like Dark Magician has Xyz monsters now. That would be cool.
Oh yeah.
I kind of expected that from Dark Side of Dimensions, but that didn't happen.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think sort of the game's changed a lot, and it would be a lot cooler to see in a remake.
Mm-hmm.
But remaking shows is always like a double-edged sword. People are going to complain. People are going to get excited. So finding a balance between people not liking it and people liking it enough to, I guess, make profit, because in the end, they're doing it for money.
Right. I don't know. I think a remake of the original Yu-Gi-Oh would be great because they did Dark Side of Dimensions. Everybody loved that movie, and personally, I loved it. Even though some criticize it as like, oh, there's too much filler that you could cut some parts out, and you can just move along with the story because it's like almost a 2-hour long movie, which personally I like because it's more Yu-Gi-Oh for me to see, right? So I don't think anybody would be opposed to remaking the original Yu-Gi-Oh at all because it really does need a remake in my opinion because they actually remastered it for like widescreen like a while back ago, but I was really hoping for a remake of it. So.
I know Netflix removed the last 2 seasons of the original, so I now have no way to watch it. So a remake would be very welcome. Yeah, I was like at the end of Battle City, and then they removed Waking the Dragons in season 5.
Oh, that's dumb. Like
Waking the Dragons is the best arc of the original.
Yeah,
I will never not like Joey wearing red eyes.
Although some of the animation, I do have to say, is like kind of questionable, but that's because they
What,
just
like
went with some other guy instead of
Black
Takahiro.
Tristan or Kaiba's chin or
Yeah,
any of that?
yeah. But
Okay. Do you want to move on, or do you want to closing statements for this topic?
yeah, we can close the statement. Do some closing
Um,
statements.
I think remakes are good. The Digimon one is good, but it depends on how you like market a remake and how close the original is.
Yeah, I
It's
can
my
agree with that.
statement.
Okay, so there's a new isekai again, another isekai. So I'm a spider. So what? And it's actually getting anime. The show's about pretty much follows a girl who was killed along with her classmates because of a huge explosion caused by a conflict between a demon king and the hero of another world. And then she
Sounds so awful.
right, exactly. And she was reborn as a spider and now has to adapt to the new world. Kind of like reincarnated as a slime in a way. Except he wasn't killed by some guy who
I
just
have so
stabbed
many
him.
questions.
Like have you seen the trailers for that show?
I haven't, but the way she died just sort of makes me think of like, have you seen Konosuba?
Yeah.
How
That was
how
hilarious.
he thinks he gets hit by a truck, but he died of shock
Yeah.
because he didn't get hit by the truck.
Oh yeah, I saw that and it's funny and like I don't know, like lately they've been doing a lot. Like I know that isekai has been popular since SAO and stuff like that, which is like 2012 or something when it came out.
Yeah, I think so. I
But
think so.
what do you think of the whole isekai genre? Like
Okay,
I don't
I
know.
think it's a trend. I think one day it's
Hmm.
gonna go out of fashion because like for a couple of years the most popular shows were isekai, like ReZero for example.
Yeah.
But then last year we saw like Doctor Stone, Demon Slayer, sort of shows that aren't isekai sort of come out, show their like how good they are. So I think one day isekai is going to be sort of a memory of the past, sort of just a
Hmm.
normal level genre. But I, it kind of annoys me that it's all the same thing told with different like it's having this. It's like having the same car painted a different color. It's
Right.
the same thing done differently.
Hmm.
I think it depends on execution. It's like I've been watching another world with my smartphone, which is
Oh
I've been
god.
watching it
I don't
because
know.
it's so bad. That's why I've
It's
been
so bad.
watching
Like
it.
I started watching the first episode and I like, yep, nope, I'm done with this. This is so boring
Like
and
God crushes a kid with a boat by mistake. The kid gets reincarnated with magic and a phone.
yeah, and then there's the other ones that like reincarnate as a super strong shielder or whatever. I don't know. Some stupid stuff like that. There's like so many dumb isekai shows. I don't know.
Yeah, but then you get shows like Overlord or Shield Hero,
Oh my god.
which
Yes,
are
those are
like
top tier
really good.
shows. Yeah.
Yeah, the Shield Hero seasons 2 and 3 have already been confirmed, so I look forward to that.
Hmm.
Um, I haven't actually got into Overlord yet. I'm on like episode 4. I have been on episode 4 since we watched it. Like I think it was like a year and a half ago.
Oh jeez.
I don't know, but I think isekai sort of it depends on the execution.
Hmm.
If you do it well enough, it'll be good. If you do it badly, people are going to laugh at it for being bad. If you do it awfully, people are going to watch it because it's bad.
Right. So after hearing the whole premise of the so I'm a spider, so what show, does it sound like something you would watch?
I might watch it to see if it's good or not good, see if it's ironically funny.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like watching Family Guy because it's bad, because the jokes are bad.
Oh
That's
yeah.
why I might watch it,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not going to watch it seriously. Like, I don't know. What about you?
I don't know. I'm probably just gonna skip, not watch this like completely, just skip over this because it sounds the premise of it. It sounds so generic because like you know how a lot of the isekais are like, oh, you died, you're reborn as animal or something, because I feel like they're kind of copying Reincarnated as a
Reincarnated as
slime.
a slime. Yeah.
Yeah, like Slime, I felt like they did that first. Then this show is kind of just copying that, and they're reborn as like an enemy monster within this world or whatever.
Mhm.
Which at first it was like pretty charming, you know, and how they executed it. But after watching
What I
Slime,
want
it's like, eh.
what I want to know is, was the Demon King and Hero of Another World in her world, or did they go from their world to hers, kill them, then go back?
I think, yeah,
That's
that was pretty much it.
like, was she from Earth or was she from a magical world?
From
I
what
want to see an isekai where someone from a magical world gets reincarnated on Earth. That's a show I would watch.
well, there's a maid dragon, like Koyobashi maid
Is
dragon.
that what that is?
Yeah, where
Is
the
that-
dragons
oh my God.
go from their magical world to the real world, and they pretty much just live there with normal
Okay, now
people.
I'm gonna go watch. I want to watch Dragon Maid now.
Yeah, it's actually a really good show. Like, it's a good slice of life show.
It's so
even
good that
though
they
it has
based it-
like magic stuff, it's actually a very good show.
I've heard it's good. Yeah.
I think same thing with like Senko, the fox.
Yeah.
That one, that kind of the same thing as well, where she goes from magical world to like to the real world and stuff, and just lives there.
I've noticed all of these characters like half human, half animal.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Please don't tell me like Agretzko is one of these shows.
Agretzko?
The fox. Yeah.
Oh no. That's pretty much just the real world, except just
But they're all
animal
animals.
morphic. Yeah, pretty much.
It's like Africa Salaryman, or whatever it's called, with the lion who works in an office.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, you could say it's almost exactly like that, except it focuses on this one girl. So
the fox.
yeah, I don't know, but
I think
Oh, go ahead.
Isekai's not going to last long. Isekai's not going to last long.
You think so?
I mean, maybe it'll get to 2022 and reach a decade of life, but other than that, I can't see it lasting long.
What do you think how would that affect like shows like Doctor Stone and like Shield Hero and Slime?
I think
And Overlord.
They deserve more attention. Like the sort of studios are desperate to hop in on trends, so they're getting as many isekai shows on board as they can. So I think if a studio focused on more shows of like more diverse genres and only did like the good isekai shows, then that'd be a lot better. Like focus groups are a thing. They should do those. See what people like and then put them out instead of just putting them out to jump on the trend.
I don't know, like I half agree with that, because like if you try to do a focus group, I feel like focus groups are very iffy because some of them could just lie just so they can get a quick buck, and they release it anyway.
Focus group.
Yeah, like if you
Oh my God.
participate in a focus group, you actually get paid to be in a focus group and like critique the product or whatever. But the thing is, if you get paid for it, then you're more than likely are going to say, yeah, this is awesome, I love this. That's why like movies like Batman v Superman like flopped and stuff, because they just pretty much just
The focus
agreed.
group said it was good. Yeah.
Yeah, they pretty much were a yes man to the directors.
That's why Michael Bay has a career.
Yeah, like exactly, pretty much. I don't know how that would affect the other good shows, because I feel like once the isekai trend ends, like I feel like shows like Overlord and Shield Hero and that kind of stuff are probably not going to get a new season as good as they are. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure Overlord's like the light novels or manga or whatever have been really sort of iffy. Like I've heard it hasn't had a new chapter for ages, but the creator hasn't said he's on hiatus. That's what I read last. I don't know.
Yeah, that's pretty
But
common.
I think after sort of Isekai goes off, I think the few shows that are ongoing, like Shield Hero or Overlord, I think they're gonna keep getting seasons, but they won't be as like, they won't be releasing as many shows like that,
Right.
if any. They won't just constantly be like, hey, he has a show where someone's in another world. He has a show where someone's in another world. He has a show where someone's in a video game. Like, I think they're gonna sort of release less on, like, focus less on the trend, focus more on releasing good shows.
Yeah.
and less shows like Don't You Love Your Mom and her two hit multi-target attacks.
Oh my god, dude. I don't know. How do you feel about the long name
Titles.
titles and
I think it's
stuff?
dumb. It's so
Yeah.
dumb.
You know, it kind of reminds me of the old alternative rock bands like Fall Out Boy and stuff, where they had their track names like so long, like almost a
That
sentence
part of it
long.
would be put in brackets. Yeah,
Yeah, kind of like
like they
Panic at
ended
the
up putting.
Disco and stuff like that. The original
Yeah,
tracks.
yeah. I think that's why I like Konosuba because it's or ReZero. Like their names are long. Like ReZero Starting Life in Another World, whatever it's called.
Hmm.
And Konosuba, I can't even remember all of Konosuba's name, but I like that they get like shortened to like, as I said, ReZero and Konosuba because that makes them easier to identify.
Right.
But like shows like Don't You Love Your Mother and a two hit multi target attacks, what are you gonna shorten that to? Multi target attacks?
Right. Right.
Like
I feel like shows like that are more forgettable if they don't abbreviate the title of the show.
yeah.
Because there's a lot of shows that came out like last year and stuff that had big names like that, and I completely forgot about them. The only shows I do remember
Yeah.
is like ReZero, Konosuba, and all that stuff. Not
Mm.
only because they're
Shortening.
good shows, but because the names itself, they're short and
Yeah.
easy to like type out and that kind of stuff.
It's like for example, if you get two very similar shows, like Recovery of an MMO Junkie and You Thought There Was Never a Girl Online,
Hmm.
you put them together, people are gonna remember MMO Junkie more because you can shorten it.
Right.
But like, I think the name is part of the isekai thing, like the long name.
Hmm.
Like a show has to have a long name. Sometimes it's a funny name. Sometimes it's just a general description of the show, like Rising of the Shield Hero.
Right.
But as we've said, Overlord is a great show, and it doesn't have the long title.
Hmm.
I think Overlord is truly the champion of isekai.
Mm, that's debatable. Like as much as I love Overlord, that could be debatable. I don't know.
I think it's good because it's an isekai, but it's so different to others.
Hmm.
Like mainly because of the title not being incredibly long and having to catch your breath halfway through saying it.
Right.
Like saying the full name of Konosuba, I struggle because I have to stop halfway through and take a breather.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think once shows get shorter titles, they'll be better.
Yeah.
I
For
think
sure.
there are a lot of there are a lot of better shows coming out that I hope will take attention away from the trend, like Attack on Titan's final season,
Hmm.
for example. I hope that takes away from the trend. Or Doctor Stone season 2. I would you consider that an isekai? I wouldn't.
Yeah, me neither. Because technically, they're not in a different
They're
world.
still on Earth.
Yeah, it's just in the future. I wouldn't consider that an
Yeah,
isekai.
I think there are good shows like these remakes too. If Death Note gets a remake, that's gonna get so much attention.
Oh
That's
yeah,
gonna
for sure.
kill the isekai genre.
Yeah. Like as much as I
Let's
love some of
just.
the isekai shows, like really need to tone it down a lot.
It's overused.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Let's just be happy that Western media hasn't caught on to using this. Otherwise, we'll be getting like Adventure Time isekai. Finn falls asleep and wakes up in New York.
Oh my god. That'd be so weird, but I mean, I don't
That'd be
know.
great.
I guess. But yeah,
I don't know. Um, what's your favorite isekai show?
I'd probably have to go with Shield Hero for sure.
Same, yeah.
I
It's a
think.
great like. It took me a long time to get into. Like I was on episode 7 and 8 for a while because I just
Hmm.
sort of didn't have the motivation to watch it. But
Hmm.
after I picked up after that, I watched sort of like episode 9 to 24 within like a day
Hmm.
because it was that good.
Oh yeah,
I
especially
think so.
the intro song.
Yeah, I love that it takes time introducing the characters, and you can sort of take your time getting to know them. Like you don't
Hmm.
have to binge watch the first sort of chunk of the show, but then
Hmm.
after that, it's sort of like you have to watch it all, otherwise the events start to make less sense.
Right. Yeah, I can agree with that.
And then, yeah, I watched the dub of it because I do stuff while I watch shows. Like I'll eat or something, and I can't always pay attention to the screen.
Hmm.
So I watch dubs whenever I can, and I think Shield Hero is a surprisingly good one.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like for what I think Crunchyroll is the one who dubbed it, surprisingly,
Mm.
for this show instead of Funimation, but they actually did a surprisingly very good dub for that, as well as ReZero.
Mhm. Um, Speaking of Crunchyroll, have you watched Tower of God?
Not yet. I've heard good things about it, but
Yeah, me
I don't
too.
know.
I intend to watch it sometime, but I don't know when. But the animation style looks interesting. Like
Yeah.
I've noticed,
Hmm.
it's not conventional, so I look forward to
Hmm.
that whenever I decide to watch it.
I don't know. I haven't seen any clips of it, so I can't really say.
Mm.
But maybe on the next podcast we could talk about the show to see how
Yeah,
and just give our opinions on it.
that's actually not a bad idea. We watch the first episode of a show every week and do that as a segment.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, that's pretty much the isekai genre. Like, I mean, I'll both of us can agree that it's like it needs to die down because it's already been like 3 years of nothing but isekai in the mainstream.
We should write our own isekai where it's called I woke up in America in the body of a duck. It is about me.
Oh wow, yeah, for sure. We'll just pitch that to like A1 Pictures or something, and have them
Yeah,
animate it into like a slice of life
hell yeah.
isekai.
Hey, just go to Rooster Teeth. They'll animate anything.
Oh yeah, God, yeah, yeah, pretty much. Okay, so apparently the PlayStation 5 is supposed to come out this holiday weekend, which has been confirmed. So it's like around November,
Yeah,
which is very normal because a lot of Sony and Microsoft and a lot of consoles like to release during the holiday, Black Friday thing, so everybody can pick
yeah.
it up, right?
Christmas
But
shopping. Yeah,
yeah, and apparently a lot of a lot of the manufacturing was being held up because of the whole virus thing.
yeah.
But what do you think of the console? That how it looks and stuff.
Someone cut off the top of Doug Dimmadome's hat and they turned it into a games console. The PS5 memes are great. It looks like a good console, and I'm kind of at first when I saw it, I was kind of weary because like the way I have my PS4
Hmm.
is I have it so it's lying down.
Yeah, same.
So I was when I saw it standing up, I was like, "Can you make it lie down?" And I saw that you can, which I'm fine with.
I don't know. I
And
feel like it's gonna take a lot of space, and
yeah,
that's my only issue with that. Is that as cool as it looks, like if I wanted to keep it in a concealed space, which is not recommended because it could overheat and stuff like that.
yeah,
Which I hope they actually fix that issue with this console.
mm,
Probably they probably won't
yeah.
because they're
I
probably gonna
think
go the cheap way. But
might
that's
be
my
good
only issue
since the
with it.
console's white because
Hmm.
like white, the color black attracts heat and stores heat or whatever. So I think it's good that's white because that's less likely to explode from overheating.
Yeah, yeah, that makes more
Um,
sense if you think about it. Yeah,
and then the new controller looks alright. So
I think the new
I don't
controller
know.
looks very sleek. I personally like it because it's like all white and stuff like that. And I know a lot of people have been like, "Oh, we want
Damn.
the black version of this console and like give us the
Yeah,
classic version or something." Personally, I
it's
like
like
it.
it's like the Xbox 360 when it
Hmm.
originally came out white, and then they started just making black ones.
Yeah, I think the black versions are kind of like generic and like boring. Like the what
Yeah,
if you make it look white and stuff, I think it looks more futuristic and more modern. Eyes probably because of the
yeah,
minimalistic style of it. So I
it's
don't know.
technological.
Yeah. Like, have you seen any of
Um,
the renditions of what or fan renditions of the PS5?
I have not.
Have you seen any
Do
of
I
the
want to see them?
previous? Well, I don't know. Personally I haven't seen any of the new of any fan renditions, but I've seen like the PS4 theories and stuff like a long time ago before it even
Yeah.
came out. It was supposed to be people thought it was going to be made out of glass or something and have be the circle thing with
A
like
glass
glass.
game console.
Yeah, or something like that. Which obviously they're never going to do because it could break and that they would just have to
Yeah,
increase the price
unless
to
they
like
make like
$1,000 or
unbreakable
something.
unbreakable glass.
That or like make it into like plexiglass or something like that. I
Yeah,
don't know, which is horrible. It'd
Because
feel
then you'd see the inside of the console and everything, and that's not something I want to see.
yeah.
Like, if I'm driving a car, I don't want to see what's going on inside of it.
Hmm.
I keep comparing things to cars today. Jeez, like I compared Isekai to it now. Like, jeez, what's on my mind?
I don't know. Maybe you want like a car or something like that, or you just want to get out and drive.
I need to fix my car.
Oh well, that's probably
I've
why.
had it for like 2 years and the battery's dead.
Oh wow.
That's why you don't get a car before you can drive, kids.
So they say that
Um,
the specs
yeah,
of the system is like more powerful. Like I don't know if you played Spider-Man on the PS4 version,
I
but
did.
apparently, you know how you go through the subway. Apparently, it loads within like 2 seconds now instead of like
Mm.
10 seconds or something. So what do you think
I
about
saw
that?
I saw a comparison thing for the specs of
Hmm.
the new Xbox and the PS5,
Hmm.
and the Xbox is apparently more powerful, but very slightly.
Hmm.
And I'm pretty sure they're like teased or they're like leaked. I'm sure it was a fake leak. Price point I saw, it was like cheaper than the PS4 was at release,
Hmm.
which kind of disheartens me because it means it might not be as big of an upgrade as the PS4 to the PS3 to the PS4. Like it might just be a very minor upgrade, but I, I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. It's good to have something that's running quickly because my internet's not doing that, so I need a console that can.
Yeah, for sure. What do you think about the digital version of the PS5? Looks like
uh,
there's kind of slowly integrating digital and trying to phase
see,
out physical
I,
consoles and stuff like that.
I don't think physical games like discs are ever gonna die out because
Hmm.
what's good about them is after you finished it, you can like trade it into a shop and get money back.
Hmm.
So you can get money after you finished it, so someone else can play it. While with digital, you finish something, you just delete it, and it's gone. So I think physical isn't ever going to completely die, but I think digital is slowly becoming more and more normal. Like
Hmm.
I've found myself, I have 2 games downloaded on my PS4 now because of how much space Modern Warfare takes up.
Right.
Like it's like I think over 200 gigs at this point for one game.
Jeez, that's
I
crazy.
don't know how big it is. Yeah, it is. It takes me like a week every time it needs to update.
Dang,
So yeah, the update's like 60 gigs every time.
that's just
So
crazy.
I think, and that's something I've got downloaded. So I think digital's slowly becoming the norm,
Hmm.
but physical's always going to be around.
What do you think
Because
about the whole your library, like the things you bought on the PS4? Do you think they will transfer over to the PS5, like all the
I hope
digital
so.
games? Yeah, because like I spent a good
I
chunk of
want to finish
money.
Persona. I want to play Persona 5 on a PS5,
Hmm.
but I don't know. If it doesn't transfer over, then it's not a very good idea.
Yeah, apparently it's
Or
backwards compatible, so I don't know.
they might make it so that you have to like pay or something to access your old library.
That'd be so like have PlayStation
Like
Plus and
if they
push
make
that
yeah
more.
if they, yeah I don't think that's a good idea.
I mean, that's one way to making more money. Sony,
Shh,
hit me
don't
up
give
for
them
more
ideas.
ideas.
At me on Twitter for more ideas.
What do you think of
Uh,
the launch titles for the PS5?
okay, have you seen the box art for the new Spider-Man game?
Yeah,
What do you think? Because I love it.
same. It looks really cool.
It looks smooth. I like the contrast of like PS4, for example, had the contrast of like the blue box with the red Spider-Man, and this has the
Hmm.
white box, black Spider-Man. That's not racist. His costume's black.
Right.
So I like it. I think the range of titles is good because they've got like games for everyone releasing. The only game I really care about so far is Spider Man because I haven't played any of the other games because I know most of them are like sequels to stuff
Hmm.
or just follow ups. And the only game I've played is Spider Man, and I'd mainly look forward to the story part of it, and I hope it has co op because they could do that, but I don't think they will. So I think the range of titles is good. It's a good sort of variety, so like everyone can enjoy something about the new console. It's a good way to market the console.
Are you gonna get it on at launch or anything, or like within the first year of launch?
I'll get it within the first year, definitely. I don't know when though.
Personally, I'm probably gonna
Uh,
wait it out for 2 years and probably buy
until
it.
price goes down.
Well, it's not only about the price; it's more about the library too. If it's confirmed
Yeah.
that it's not backwards compatible with a lot of my games or anything like that, then I'm gonna wait it out because
Hmm.
at that point it's not worth it because the PS4 is already good enough for me because it has a really lot of good games. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know about the PS5 if they don't make it backwards compatible.
Thing with the PS4 is like I think when do you remember when the PS4 and the Xbox One came out, how they slowly stopped making games for like the Xbox 360 and PS3, and like when the Switch came out, they stopped releasing 3DS games.
Right.
I don't think they're gonna do that because these consoles have been up for like 7 years without an upgrade,
Hmm.
and like 6 or 7 years. So I'm pretty sure they're gonna keep releasing games for it while releasing them on the PS5 as well. Like the PS5 might end up just being an upgrade of the 4 instead of just a whole new console.
Right.
But if they do sort of replace the PS4, they will hopefully make games backwards compatible.
Yeah, because for me that would be probably the biggest deal breaker, especially after
Mm,
investing a lot of hours and money into the PS4. I'm
yeah,
like, I'd be pretty, I'm pretty upset if they like, oh nope, sorry, you can't play any of your old
yeah.
games or you can't download your
Because like
library.
a big problem with this for me is like when I transferred from Xbox 360 to Xbox One, I got Grand Theft Auto 5, which I had on my Xbox 360,
Hmm.
and they made it so your online account can't transfer over after a certain amount of time. So like after the game came out on Xbox One, you had like I think it was like a year or something to transfer your character over,
Hmm.
and I missed that, so I couldn't put my character over. So a lot of things sort of like since a lot of things are online, so like Final Fantasy 14, for example,
Hmm.
you play that, you might understand this. If they somehow make it so your character from PS4 can't go over to PS5, if they put that game onto PS5, that would annoy a lot of people. So backwards compatibility with save data, especially, would be a good idea.
Yeah, for sure. And I could also see them like promoting that with like, oh, you just upload your save data to the PS Plus account, and you can
Yeah,
just download on your PS5 or something like that.
I mean, I back up all my save data like online anyway, so
Hmm.
hopefully I'm okay.
I haven't really gotten PlayStation Plus in a long time. Just I used to get it for Overwatch, but after realizing that the PC is better for Overwatch and oh, just
Mhm.
overall it's just free to play online on Overwatch, I just not decided not to buy or get the PlayStation Plus thing anymore.
PS Plus is like a monthly gamble for me. If I like the free games, I get a free game. If I don't, I pay to be able to play online.
Yeah. Like for me, since online isn't a big focus when it comes to the kind of games I play, I don't
Yeah,
really care for it. But I guess since you play a lot of online games, it really
yeah.
matters for you.
I mean, yeah. I, I PlayStation would be fine without PS Plus because it's just when you think about it, it's not important.
Hmm.
Like, yeah, you get discounts monthly and you get free games, but it's not really free because you're spending like money on it on the membership.
Right.
It's like the Xbox Game Pass, where I don't know how much it is, but you get hundreds of games. I think it is for free,
Hmm.
but at the same time, it's not free because you're paying for the pass. I don't know. It feels like a hidden scam.
Yeah, I can see that. I don't
That
know.
sounds like the worst village from Naruto. The village hidden in the scam.
Oh my god.
It's just filled with like Nigerian princes.
Oh my god. Yeah, I could yeah, that's pretty bad.
But yeah, I think memberships like that they need to have something like real oof to them
Hmm.
to really make it worth it. Like Xbox Live, for example, everyone had gold when on back in the Xbox 360 days
Hmm.
because you could talk in parties, you could play with friends. But if you had like silver, which is the like if your gold ran out, you'd go down to silver. You couldn't do any of that. like you could only message people.
Right.
So I think a lot of stuff sort of depends on the way they handle memberships. So PS5 hopefully focuses less on making money through memberships and more on making money through good games.
Yeah, I can
But
agree with that. Yeah.
you know, the corporate people, they love money.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, they got to make a profit somehow, considering that
Yeah, yeah.
if they release it at a lower margin than or at the same margin as a PS4, then they're definitely going to lose out on on a lot of money. So I'm sure they're going to be focusing a lot of on their online services and stuff.
I think so. You know how there's like a price range for games when they come out. It's like
Hmm.
over here, it's like £40 to £60.
Right.
I think whenever they bring a console out, that goes up a bit. So I feel like it might go up from like £40 to £60 to like £50 to £70. So games are going to become more expensive because the consoles run easier, the graphics are better, so the game takes up more space.
Hmm.
So it costs more money. But
Right.
I feel like that's how they're going to make their money. Online memberships and raising game prices.
Yeah, I can see that. Like, I believe like the 2K games or something on the PS5, it's going to be $70 instead of 60.
Damn.
Yeah, and that's only for a
Mm.
2K basketball game, which sucks because
Just
they're
go
known
outside and
for.
play real basketball.
Bro, yeah, exactly, pretty much. I never
Stop being a
understood that.
loser. Go play real basketball.
Yeah, but I don't know. That's just the PS5. I'm pretty excited for it just because of
Yeah.
the processing power and how fast it runs. But I guess you can kind of get that already on the PC. But for those who rather just buy a console and play it like that, I guess it's pretty
It's
good.
better than built. Like you can sit back with a controller and relax with a PS4 with a TV, like a big TV, and not all like PCs and laptops and whatever can do that.
Right.
So I think consoles are always going to have their appeal because they're like families can get consoles. Like I know people who use consoles just for like Netflix and stuff.
Oh yeah, same.
So consoles are always going to have sort of that everyone can use them. Well, gaming PCs are like for gamers.
So yeah, I guess that's the PS5 in general. I hopefully it has stuff that I actually like, and I might pick it up.
Mhm.
But if not, then I probably won't pick it up for another 3 years, maybe. I'm sure a lot of people can agree with that too. But
Something I'm like curious about with it is a lot of
mhm,
PS4 games have been delayed.
yeah, they're probably gonna
What I'm thinking,
re-release it on PS5 or have it like
that's what I'm thinking.
integrate PS5
Yeah, backwards
components.
compatibility. You buy it for the PS4 and you play it on your PS5.
Yeah,
Big brain.
hopefully. But
Mhm.
yeah, that's our thoughts, I guess, on that.
Yeah.
I looks like it's the end of or it's at that point where it's kind of
We
like
have to say our
gotta
farewells.
wrap it up. Yeah,
Right. Thanks for listening, guys.
yeah. What do you think of
Let
our
us
first
know your
podcast,
thoughts.
Ducky?
I think it went well, but I think a segment like planned segment where like every week we watch the first episode of a show and give our thoughts on it. That'd be fun.
All right. Well, yeah, we'll implement stuff. Like, also, if you guys
Yeah.
watching this have any like want us to watch something or have opinions or anything, just leave it in the comment section below. As always.
Yeah. This was fun. I think if it's gone as well as we've hoped it will, then it's gonna go well.
Yeah,
And
and hopefully we can actually get guests as well. So
yeah, even if it's not like well-known people, if we just get like other people who've been on your channel to sort of guest, it'll give us more to talk about.
yeah, for sure, and get more opinion on
And
stuff like
yeah,
that.
it's always good to get more opinions. Let us know your thoughts on the topics we discussed in the comments below, because I actually enjoy reading comments, even like dumb comments. No offense, dumb commenters.
Yeah, same.
It's always good to see what people think on things because sometimes when you're like watching a discussion video, it's often biased.
Hmm.
Like for example, me and Jay have agreed a lot today,
Hmm.
which I'm surprised about because British and Americans have a history of arguing.
Right.
I think differing opinions are good, but at the same time, agreeing is good. So I would love to see some opinions in the comments. Thank you.
Yeah. So with that being said, thanks for listening / watching, I guess, because more than likely there isn't going to be anything on the screen except like a static image. But anyway, thanks for listening. Make sure to follow. Is there anything you want to plug in, Ducky?
My Instagram is at Billy_Hush. Go ahead and follow that.
And you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, everything / JadenDay0, pretty much. Even TikTok, surprisingly.
Wait, you have TikTok?
Yeah. I just made TikTok just because I can get the username and then delete it.
I'm following you.
Well, TikTok, I have opinion on TikTok, but that's for another discussion.
Is this that Chinese government thing?
Yeah.
Where, like, they're pulling out of Hong Kong?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
But, it's totally something else, but...
Damn it, why didn't I steal your TikTok username?
All right, guys, thanks for watching, listening, and hope to see you on the next podcast. Have a great rest of your week. Yeah. What Ducky said. All right, see you guys.
See you.